Divine source of light and truth, as I prepare to open these cards, I ask for your protection and guidance. Surround me with pure white light, shield me from the negative, harmful, or misleading energies. Allow only truth, clarity, wisdom, and love to come through. May my mind be clear, my heart be open, and my intentions be pure. Let this reading serve the highest good for myself and all involved. Ground me in peace, guide my intuition, protect this space now and always, and so might it be. So, collective, today, before we begin, this reading isn't for everybody, so take what resonates and leave what does not. But this reading isn't about what they said. This reading isn't about what they needed to say. This reading is about what they should have said. It's about the pauses, the swallowed words. It's about the almost confessions. And tonight we're uncovering what they stayed behind, what they didn't say behind their teeth. So take a deep breath with me. Think of the person on your mind and don't force it. Let their energy rise naturally. Then we're going to give this a good old shuffle. And then we're going to peel this back layer by layer. So first I'm going to start off with my Cosmic Insight Oracle deck. Just to get a feel of the energy tonight. Set the tone and the foundation. So we're going to give this a shuffle. Love spell. You've been bewitched. We're going to delve into that. Okay. Give it time. Everything in divine timing. Let things flow. I'm going to pull one more. And then sexuality. Someone is still figuring themselves out. Okay. So I'm going to sit that down right here. Cosmic Insights Oracle deck. So pretty. So we have love spell. Trying to make sure it doesn't get that glare. Love spell. You've been bewitched. We have give it time. Okay. And we have sexuality. Someone is figuring themselves out. Okay. So let's get into it. So, like, what is the main thing that you feel like they never said? And we're gonna clarify this with some tarot, but this is the core confession. This is the sentence that never made it past their pride. And we just wanna see what the anchor is saying. So let's see what tarot deck we are going to use. Let's use our out of hand tarot deck right here, okay? Oh, they need to get a good shuffle out. Okay. So these two over here came out first. No, that's too many, Spirit. Oh, that's too many. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. We have the Seven of Cups. Give me one more. So we have two more. So we have the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. And so what that automatically says to me, let's get into how this Knight of Wands is reversed. So this Knight of Wands reversed, and what they never told you, if we're channeling that energy, it says they acted boldly. They were detached. They were unbothered. But the truth is that they were impulsive because they were overwhelmed. You ignited something in them that felt out of control. And instead of slowing down and being vulnerable, they ran hot and reckless. And it's giving an air of you scared me because I felt too much. It's not a wands. But this seven of cups here is giving confusion. It's not about you, it's about themselves. They didn't know if they were ready. It could have been if they could offer you what you deserve. It could have been if they were even capable of something real. They had entertained options or distractions, but it wasn't because you weren't enough. It was because they didn't trust their own emotions. And I feel like this card is an admittance. It's I didn't know how to choose something real. Seven of Cups is all about choices, illusions, distractions. But then we have the devil. And here's the raw truth. They were deeply, physically, emotionally tempted by you, addicted even. But there was obsession energy here, a magnetic pull, a possessiveness. But instead of expressing vulnerability, they express control, lust, ego, or avoidance. And what they never told you, pretty much I was attracted more than I let on. Okay? With this Five of Pentacles right here, which speaks of being left out in the cold. And this is the part that they would never openly confess. Is they felt abandoned, even if they were the ones who created the distance. They felt like they lost something valuable. And they may have felt like they weren't good enough, or that they were financially unstable, or emotionally, insecure. Or they might have felt like that maybe you were even out of their league. But what they never said was they never said, I felt like I couldn't measure up to you. And so I feel like with this full confession here, I feel like what they never told you was that they were overwhelmed, confused about their own readiness. They were deeply attached in an unhealthy way and insecure about whether they could keep you. So instead of stepping up, they destabilized. Not because you weren't enough, but because they weren't stable enough. Okay? So that's also clarifying this sexuality card. And take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because it doesn't have to be about sexuality. It could just be about trying to figure your own life out, trying to figure out your own situations, your own mental, your own emotional standpoint, your own emotional front. If an individual is confused about where they stand with you, why would you want to sit in confusion? So sometimes you have to literally let people go and fight their own battles. And so someone was in a process of trying to figure themselves out and they didn't feel like that they were good enough. Okay? Let's get into it. So what was the emotion behind the silence? What emotion were they hiding? Okay? Okay. We have the Nine of Wands. Oh, we'll pull two more. What emotion were they hiding? Five of Cups. What emotion were they hiding? Ooh. All right, and the Four of Wands. So what I automatically get from this Nine of Wands, Five of Cups, and Four of Wands is behind their silence, there was indifference. This was an energy who was emotionally overwhelmed and guarded. And with the Nine of Wands, behind their silence was exhaustion. They felt wounded, defensive. Shit, they probably could have even been afraid of getting hurt again. This is someone who had their walls up and they didn't tell you how much they were protecting themselves. They may have acted distant, but internally, it's like they were bracing for impact. But what they never admitted with this Nine of Wands right here was I was scared this would hurt me. Okay? With the Five of Cups right here, this is sorrow. This is sorrow. This is regret. This is grief. It's not dramatic crying in front of you, but quiet, private regret. They focused on what went wrong, on what they messed up, on what slipped through their fingers. And this card says they feel lost and that they don't like sitting in that feeling. So this card is I know I ruined something. All right? But the part that makes this so deep is this Four of Wands. Because this is the surprise. Because of the Four of Wands, this is stability, this is celebration, this is long term potential. This means they saw something real with you, not just chemistry, not just attraction. They saw future, potential, a home feeling, comfort. This is partnership energy right here. And that's exactly why they got scared. Because when something feels, excuse me, stable and real, it becomes something you can lose. And what they never admitted is that I saw long term potential with you, and that terrified me. And so the emotional truth behind their silence was a fear of getting hurt, regret over what went wrong, and awareness that this could have been something stable and lasting. And they weren't silent because they didn't care. They were silent because they cared and didn't know how to handle it. And this energy feels like someone who feels like I messed up something that could have been solid. And that energy lingers. And so on card three, we're gonna understand, like we're gonna try to understand why they didn't tell you the truth. So we're going to pull on why they didn't tell you, like what made them stay silent. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Seven of Wands. I'm gonna pull one more. And we have the Three of Pentacles. And just really quick, with our Nine of Wands, Five of Cups, and Four of Wands energy, this is giving they fell in love and didn't know how to tell you. Somebody was up under your love spell. They didn't bewitch you, you bewitched them. They fell in love with you and didn't know how to tell you. Okay? We'll place that over here. And then for why they stayed silent, what made them stay silent is we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. So what this says to me is that this is someone with the Knight of Pentacles being in reverse. Okay? This is someone who knew consistency was required, but didn't feel capable of giving it. Because the upright Knight of Pentacles is stable, reliable, long term. And so, with the Knight of Pentacles being in reverse, this is about stagnation, procrastination, avoidance of fucking responsibility. It's a fear of commitment or feeling financially or emotionally not enough. I feel like they stayed silent because speaking up would require action, and action would require maturity. So what they never admitted, I knew if I opened my mouth, I'd have to show up properly, and they weren't ready to do that. But with the Seven of Wands, this is the ego card. This is the ego card. This is ego and defensiveness. This is pride. They felt challenged, not by you attacking them, but by you expecting more. They may have felt pressure, exposed, or called out. And 9 times out of 10 with narcissists, they felt called out. Like they had to defend themselves. Instead of softening, they defended. And the silence became their shield. What they were really thinking was, if I admit this, I lose control. Ridiculous. But with the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles is about building. This card is interesting because it shows potential for teamwork, partnership, and growth. But paired with the other two cards, it shows that they knew this connection would require effort and collaboration. And they weren't confident in their ability to build something solid. So they may have doubted their finances, their stability. They might have doubted long-term readiness, whether they could meet your standards. But what they said with this card right here was, I wasn't sure if I could be the partner you needed. Okay? Which all of that coincides with give it time. Everything in divine timing. Let things flow. Okay? So, with that being said, all of this, the real reason for the silence, they stayed silent because they weren't ready to be consistent. Their pride wouldn't let them look vulnerable, and they knew that this required real effort and growth. And silence is easier than stepping up. This isn't someone who didn't care. They cared. Confirmation. They care, but this is someone who knew you deserve stability and they feared that they couldn't provide that for you. And now this is gonna get deep because on spread four, if they could speak honestly right now, what would they say? If they could speak honestly right now, what would they say? Okay. All right. So we have an Eight of Wands, Eight of Cups, and the Chariot. Interesting. This spread is definitely strong, direct, intentional energy. Let's step into their voice. And so with the Eight of Wands, this is a I've wanted to reach out card. This is fast communication energy. They thought about texting, typing, calling, sending something impulsively. There's urgency here. What they would admit with this card, I feel like they admit, I've had moments where I almost broke no contact. This isn't slow energy. This is waves of impulse. But impulse doesn't always become action, you know? And on the other end of that, it can make you feel like you don't matter. And so, with the Eight of Cups, this is, I've walked away, but it wasn't easy. And the Eight of Cups is about emotional withdrawal or emotional abandonment. They left or emotionally distanced themselves because something felt overwhelming. But here's the part people tend to like really misunderstand. The Eight of Cups is not indifference. It's walking away while still feeling. So what they could confess with this card is leaving hurt more than I let you see. You didn't see the pain, so you didn't know how much pain I was in. They may have told themselves it was necessary and that it was a mature choice, that they needed space. But emotionally, that shit wasn't clean. Okay? And with the chariot, it's about willpower. This is about forward movement. This is about movement. The chariot, when you think about a car, a chariot, you think about movement. And this is willpower. They are actively holding themselves back. The chariot says pride, determination, refusing to lose control. They may want to reach out with the Eight of Wands. They may still feel emotionally connected with the Eight of Cups, but they're choosing restraint. So I feel like what they would admit is it's taking everything in them not to break this silence. And so, with the full confession, if they were completely honest, it would sound like this: baby, sweetie, sugar, honey pie. I wanted to message you more than once. Walking away didn't mean I stopped feeling. I'm trying to stay strong, but this isn't as easy as I pretend. And it's not cold energy. It's controlled emotion, and they are actively choosing discipline over desire. And so the important pattern is you have impulsiveness with the Nine of Wands in reverse, obsession and attachment with the devil, regret with the Five of Cups, fear of stability with the Four of Wands, insecurity about stepping up with the Knight of Pentacles, and now with the Eight of Wands, an urge to communicate, emotional detachment attempt with the Eight of Cups, and then self control with the Chariot. This is someone who's battling themselves, not someone who feels nothing.